Welcome everyone. Here is a yoga practice to challenge your core. This one was a request, so I hope you enjoy. You're going to build some heat and work hard here in this practice. You're going to need just your yoga mat. Have fun. Okay, so we're going to get started on all fours. Draw yourself to your tabletop position. You're going to start off by thinking about the hands. Just thinking about all 5 fingers spread really wide on the mat. So really spreading out the hands and checking that the knees are stacked directly underneath the hips. They're about hip width distance apart, tracking down perfectly underneath you. Tops of the feet are soft on the floor. We'll start off with a little cat-cow here. Just for a couple of breaths, you're inhaling to drop the belly down and lift the gaze. And you're exhaling to nudge the floor away with the feet and the hands. Look back for the belly button around the spine. Inhale to drop the belly down, reverse. Keep that going in your own time with your own breath. When the exhale happens, you push the floor away, round through the spine. One more. Inhale, drops belly down. Stretches out the skin on the front of the body, the skin on the belly and the ribs. Exhale, rounding up, feeling the back body, the space between the vertebrae and the ribs, stretching open. Inhale to come back to center. We're going to start to fire up the low belly muscles here. So starting off, we're going to take the left leg back behind us. So left toes tuck under, and you'll slide the left foot back and away. Reach the left, this is my right leg. Reach the right heel back and away. So right heel reaches away for the floor. You're going to bring the body weight into the right hand. Just check this wrist is directly strapped underneath the shoulder blade. You don't want it off to one side. You're going to inhale, reach the left fingertips forwards for the front of the room, bicep with the ear. And if you can here, you're going to challenge yourself and bring the right toes up off the floor, right heel reaching out for the back of the room, right toes dialed down towards the floor. Lengthen through fingertips and heel. Inhale. Exhale, round in, bring knee to elbow, push the floor away, arch everything in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to round in, push the floor away, bring knee to nose if you can here. Inhale, reach long. Challenging the balance and firing up the core. Exhale, round in. Last time this side. Draw the knee up, maybe knee to nose. You crunch everything in. Inhale, reach long, stretch it out. Exhale, hands and knee find their position back on the mat. And if you need to, come off the wrists. Just give the wrists a roll here. Take a chance for the wrists to be a bit softer. Find your position again. We're going to take the same on the other side. So, fingertips spread wide, wrists stacked underneath the shoulders. You're going to tuck the left toes. Send the left leg long behind you, actually the left leg this time. Press the heel out towards the back of the room, lengthen through the back of the leg. This leg is active. You're pressing the heel up, back, and the kneecap, back of the kneecap up towards the ceiling. Come heavy on the left hand, left wrist stacked underneath the left shoulder, and reach right fingertips out for the front of the room, bicep with the ear. Chin slightly tucked, you look down, about 2 foot in front of where the nose would be. You're looking down at the mat, reach fingertips long. If you can here, you're going to challenge yourself. Get the left heel up off the floor, left toes dialed down, reach long on an inhale. Exhale, draw everything in, knee to elbow, crunch everything in and out, push the floor away. Inhale, lengthen, reach long. Exhale, round in, knee to nose this time as you suck the belly up into the spine. Inhale, last time, reach long. Fingertips and heel reach away, and then exhaling, you round in, crunching, bring the knee to the nose, tuck everything in here. Inhale, last time, just stretching out. Exhale, knee and hand, make their way back to the mat. And again, if you need a roll on the wrists, come up off the wrists and give them a break. We're going to move on here, starting to fire up the muscles that work around the hip flexors and the very low belly. Bring the hands underneath the shoulder blades. Tuck both sets of toes underneath you here and find a push into the mat. You're going to push down into the mat with the hands so the back of the shoulders broadens. The space between the shoulder blades spreads out here. You've got a lift in the chest. Take a big inhale in this position. Exhale, push the floor away. You're going to start to push the floor away so firmly that you'll barely notice when the knees begin to hover. So the knees are going to hover with an inch between the knees and the mat. An inch isn't very much. Check it out. It's a very small distance. You're going to keep the knees hovering. Take a big inhale breath here. Reach through the crown of the head long. Exhale, see if you can hold it. One more breath, you've got it. Inhale. Exhale here. Inhaling. Exhale, hips up and back. Find your downward facing dog. Find some relief here. Pedaling out through the legs. Maybe giving the head a shake. And if you really need to, you can drop down to the knees, take some pressure off the wrists and find a child's pose to catch your breath. So make sure that you're coming back to a normal steady breath in between postures here. So we're going to move on. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. If you're still there, stay there. If you're not there, making your way there now. So hips are high. You're in your downward facing dog with the back of the neck nice and soft. The hands really active on the mat. A bend in the knees if you need it. The hips reaching up and back for the place where the wall meets the ceiling behind you. We're going to move on to our leg swings. Bring the left foot into the centre line here so it can support you fully. And see if you can ground down through the left heel. Take the right leg high on an inhale. Big swing with the right leg all the way up to the ceiling. Exhale, round knee to nose. Roll the weight forwards into the wrists. Pull the belly in. Inhale, take it back up. Lengthen. Exhale, right knee to right elbow as you come through. Spider-Man hover. Inhale, send it back up. Reach the leg long. Exhale, you're going to bring right knee to left elbow across the body. So you can keep the hips low, touch the knee to the elbow. Inhale, send it back up. Exhale, right foot to the floor. Have a pedal out here. If you need to, catch a child's pose. You can drop to the knees at any point and soften down. Or meet back in down facing dog and take the same on the other side. Hands underneath the shoulder blades. Reach the hips up and back. Lengthen your way into downward facing dog. Back of the neck is soft and long. Bring the right foot into the midline to support you. See if you can ground down through the right heel. And that might mean shortening up your stance a bit. That's okay. Bring the right heel down to the floor. Inhale, left leg swings up and back. Reach it for the ceiling. Exhale, left knee to nose. Tuck it in. See if you can maybe touch. Roll the weight forwards into the wrists. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left knee to left elbow. Bend the elbow. See if you can get the elbow to touch the knee and hover. Inhale, send it up and back. Exhale, left knee to right elbow. Twisting across the body. Bending the elbows. Maybe touch, maybe hover. Inhale, send it up and back. Exhale, left foot to the floor. Bring the left foot to the floor. Step the right foot out so you've got feet hip width distance apart. You're going to silently lower the knees to the floor. So putting a bend in the knees, rolling off the toes. See if you can land both knees at the same time and without any noise. Nearly. You're going to bring hips to heels, knees out wide. And you're working your way down into a child's pose. Forehead can come onto the mat, softening you down. You can bring the hands back alongside the body, or you can leave them extended, whichever works for you. And you're catching up with the breath here. Taking a big, easy inhale through the nose. And exhaling, maybe you can sigh it out through the mouth. Keeping the forehead pressing down on the mat in your extended child's pose, or in full child's pose with the arms back behind you. Let's move on. Extend the arms out ahead of you if they aren't already and press down into the hands. You're going to use that press down into the hands to pull the body up and forwards as it draws you through to find your all fours position. We're going to play with a little breathing exercise here that works in the core. If you've never done it before, come with us. It might feel a bit strange at first, but stick it out and see how far you can get with this. So, we're going to work our Kapalabhati breath. It's got lots of names. It's called blowing in firm pose. It's a breath of fire or a skull shining breath. So what we do in our Kapalabhati is blow out forcefully and the inhale takes care of itself. The inhale happens automatically as the belly snaps in, and that's the element that engages the core muscles. The belly just snapping in automatically engages these core muscles that work around your diaphragm and your breathing apparatus. So, put the hands on the knees. Create a strong, firm foundation for yourself here. I'm actually going to tuck this in so you can see my belly. If I can do it on the internet, you can do it at home. Bring your hands onto the knees. Brace yourself out here. So nothing in the body moves apart from the belly. We're going to blow out forcefully through the nose. We're going to take 10 full breaths. If you feel like you lose the rhythm, don't worry, you can restart the video or you can skip it and try it next time. We'll start by taking a big inhale through the nose together. And then we go. Let that go. Let it go completely. Maybe notice what's happening in the belly now. If those muscles that work around your diaphragm, just in line with your belly button, feel slightly switched on. We're going to use those now. Finding your way back to all fours. So coming into all fours, you're going to send the right toes back behind you, tucked underneath, and match them with the left toes. Finding yourself in plank pose. If plank pose is really, really tough, it feels like a real challenge here, you're going to drop the knees down to the floor and take half plank. In plank pose, what you're looking for is the body in a perfectly straight line, which means the hips are probably lower than you think they need to be. You want to avoid the bum creeping high. You're going to keep the bum as low as you can. We're going to take plank rollouts here. So pop a bend in the knees and find your way to downward facing dog to start. Palms are glued to the floor, fingertips spread wide. You're going to take a big inhale, rise high on the tippy toes. Come up high on the toes, peel the heels off the floor. Look forwards between the thumbs, and as you exhale, you pull the belly in, arch through the back, and round out to plank. The minute you hit plank, you take an inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, send the hips up and back to downward facing dog. Call that one practice run. We're going to take 3 more of those. Inhale, come high on the toes. Exhale, roll out to plank. Ripple the body through, crown of the head reaches long. When you hit plank, inhale. Exhale, knees bend, hips circle up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come high on the tiptoes. Exhale, roll it out. Inhale, hit plank. Exhale, bend the knees, up and back. 1 more. You've got it, stick with me. Don't leave me do this by myself. Inhale, come high on the tiptoes. Exhale, roll out through. Crown of the head reaches long. Inhale in plank. Exhale, bend the knees, send them up and back, downward facing dog. Maybe have a pedal out here. A shake of the back of the head might feel nice. And then from here, you're going to land the knees silently and simultaneously on the mat. Take the knees out wide, hips back towards the heels, and you've got your child's pose here. Arms can stay outstretched, or you can bring the hands down beside the body. Whatever feels good for you, find your way into child's pose and catch up with your breath there. You're letting the forehead melt down into the mat and the face be really soft. Reach the arms out ahead of you, if they're back behind you, and tent up on the fingertips. Instead of pulling forwards, we're going to slide the hands backwards this time. So starting to arch the back, tuck the chin to the chest, and drag the fingertips along the mat as you roll through the back all the way up to find a kneeling position. You're going to swing the legs out from underneath. You go side saddle and then take the legs long ahead of you. We're working our way down onto the back, but we'll get there with a little core challenge. So tuck the tailbone underneath you. Find a nice upright seat. Soles of the feet are firm on the floor. Reach the arms out ahead of you, palms facing in, thumbs up, fingers down, little fingers down, and then spreading the fingers out in between. You're going to find a C curve in the spine here. Pull the belly back to the spine and round in the back. Tuck the chin to the chest. From here, with as much control as you possibly can, you're going to lower the back down onto the floor, moving as slowly as you can, breathing all the time. Try not to hold the breath. You might get to a moment where you shake, but that's okay, perfectly normal. You're going to move through it, or with as much control as you've got. When the back touches down, just watch the back of the head doesn't crunch onto the mat, and you're lowering yourself down onto your back here. You guessed it, we're finishing with some crunches, finishing off the abdominal work by working the top part of the abdominal muscles. So, we've got 2 variations. The first one, we're going to work in a familiar shape, probably to lots of you, by bringing either the soles of the feet onto the floor, or the shins up in line with the floor, knees point directly up towards the ceiling. Check here that the belly doesn't dome upwards. You want the belly to be hugging down towards the mat. The belly pulls down. Shins are parallel with the floor. Watch for the knees. They're going to want to come
towards your face. See if you can keep them back away, stacked over the hips, roughly, or a little bit closer. The closer they come, the easier it becomes. So you're going to keep the knees as far away from you as you possibly can. Challenge yourself. You're going to bring the fingertips onto the back of the head, maybe interlacing the fingers here, but you're not going to pull on the neck. You're just sort of creating a cradle for the head to keep the neck nice and soft. So we start off by drawing the elbows up towards the ceiling. So this is where it might become different to a crunch you might have done before in the gym. We're going to slow it right down. Draw the elbows up towards the ceiling. Take a big inhale. And as you exhale, the belly pulls down and the head and shoulders come up off the mat. Nice. Hold it here. Take an inhale breath. Exhale, extend the left leg and take both elbows over towards the right leg. Inhale back to center, head and shoulders stay lifted. Exhale, both elbows towards the left leg and extend the right leg. Inhale back to center. If extending the leg is too much, you can ditch it and just do the crunch. Exhale, both elbows to the right leg as the left leg extends. Inhale back to center. Exhale, both elbows, left leg, extend the right toes, reach them out. Inhale, we've got one more each side. Exhaling, big breath. Left leg extends, both elbows reach right. Inhale, back to center. Last one, biggest breath yet. Draw both elbows over towards the left leg as you extend the right toes. Inhale, come back to center, take an extra breath here. Inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to see if you can get the head and shoulders more off the floor. And release. Let it go completely, let the head and shoulders come down on the mat. Might feel nice to hug the knees into the chest here. Maybe a little rock and roll across the low back might feel good. You've got one more exercise. You asked for this. You're going to drop the soles of the feet onto the floor and let the knees come wide. So soles of the feet together, knees are going to come out wide. We're going to start off with the fingertips on the temples, but they're just resting there very lightly. And you're going to see if you can keep the elbows wide. So get settled with the feet. The closer the heels are towards you, the more work is happening in the hips. So if it's really tight in the hips, send the feet slightly further away to give you a bit more space. The knees want to be soft out to the sides. You're going to bring fingertips to temples. They're resting gently here. Elbows are wide. Take a big inhale, breath at the bottom. Exhaling, you're going to lift head and shoulders up off the floor, but you're thinking about lifting the chest toward the ceiling rather than towards the knees. Take an inhale breath here. Exhale, pull the belly down. Nice. If you can, you're going to reach fingertips long in between the legs, and we're moving into tiny pulses here. So as you exhale, you're reaching forward. So very similar to our Kapalabhati breath. As you reach forwards down between the knees, you're pulsing here, keeping it going. I think I'm at roughly about 5, and we're going to do 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Soften down. Catch up the outsides of the thighs. You're going to draw the knees up together. Soles of the feet are on the floor. Take the feet out mat width distance apart. Let the knees fall in together and the lower back be really soft across the mat. Nice. You're letting everything be soft here. Hands can rest on the belly, on the muscles that you've been working, or maybe one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest might feel nice. You're letting everything relax. We're going to unwind those stomach muscles. So when you feel ready, separate the hands, bring them palm face down on the mat, and you're going to draw the heels up until you can brush the heels with the fingertips. You want the knees to be pointing straight up towards the ceiling, the feet to be roughly hip width distance apart, and they're quite close to the body. We're going to move into bridge pose, starting off by pulling the belly down. You draw the belly down, and what should happen as you draw the belly down is the hip points and the pubic bone should lift. The bowl of the pelvis tilts up towards the face. Once you've felt that sensation, you can keep lifting in that direction, as if you lifted one end of a string of beads and each little bead just follows on. So the beads, the vertebrae in the back just lift one after another, after another, after another, until you get to your highest point where you might snuggle the shoulder blades underneath you, and maybe, if you've got the space, interlace all 10 fingers here, sides of the hands on the mat. You're lifting the chest on the inhale. You inhale, lift chest to chin. And as you exhale, you think about lengthening the knees away from you. You stretch out the skin of the belly and the muscles of the belly here. When you feel ready, you'll separate the hands, try and avoid that slingshot effect as the hands fly apart from each other. Separate the shoulder blades and bring the upper back down onto the mat. You're coming out of this pose with as much control as you came in with, lowering one vertebrae at a time, all the way back down onto the mat. You can let everything be soft here. You can let the legs extend out away from you. Maybe bring the hands to rest on the muscles of the belly that have worked hard. And put some credit where credit's due for showing up on the mat. Give yourself a little miniature round of applause here for putting in the effort for that. It's been lovely practicing with you.